Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. This is Nigeria Now on Equa Television International. Glad that you could join us. And today, I'm not doing this alone. Like always, I have my able Josh Dekada in the house.
A pleasant afternoon to you, Sambu Solomon.
How are you doing?
I'm great, and you?
I'm doing fine.
Great.
Yeah. And, Abba Kyari, the Deputy Commissioner of Police, that was suspended some time ago and then being arraigned, with 24 count charge, on the issue of his contribution, if you are to say, concerning the case of that popular fraudster, Hush Puppy. And then you have the issue of the NDLEA, concerning the drug, the drug case. And then he has been filing for bail, and then the court has been rejecting. But finally, Judge Omotosho, James Omotosho, granted him bail in the sum of 50 million, and then the shorty will have property in Abuja worth 25 million. And then even at that, the case, he has two cases, that is running right now. And then one of the conditions is that even if he is able to meet this condition, definitely the other case, have to agree with this, and then if not, the bail will not stand.
Well, the case of DCP Abba Kyari is one that can be traced back to way back February 14, 2022, and everything began in March after the arrest of the popular fraudster Hush Puppy, where somehow within the line it was linked to the DSP, who a lot of people thought was outstanding, especially when in regards to discharge of his duty, intelligence response, arrest of people, and all of that. It came as a shock to so many Nigerians, him being linked to such acts, because people saw him as an outstanding officer, one that fought crime, one that went for applied intelligence in almost everything. But after all the investigation and all the allegation, especially as regard his affiliation with drug, he was actually arrested, arraigned alongside other people, and since then he has been in prison. And then like you rightly said, there has been a lot of several applications for bail, but it was declined. Even went further to the appeal court, it was really declined. Not until yesterday, a federal high court in Abuja granted bail to Abba Kyari, the suspended deputy commissioner of police, in the sum of 50 million naira. And then it was in June that the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency filed a 24-count charge marked against Kyari and his two siblings, Mohammed Kyari and Ali Kyari, for over non-disclosure of assets. And it was in the ruling yesterday that James Omotosho, the presiding judge of the High Court, said that the charges against the defendants are actually bailable, and the judge granted bail to the suspended coup in the sum of 50 million naira, with two shorties in like sum. And like you rightly said, those shorties, there are also requirements. You must have a property that is actually worth 25 million naira within the territory of the court, that is Abuja. And then the presiding judge of Omotosho added that the shorties must have properties, like I rightly say, worth 25 million within the court's jurisdiction. And then, however, the court added that the Kyari's release from prison, like you rightly said, is dependent on what happens in the other case, which he is being tried alongside 4 other people over alleged involvement in drug trafficking. The court actually released Kyari's siblings on bail. And then, like I said earlier, his case is one that can be traced back to February 14, 2022, after the NDLEA declared him wanted over alleged links with an international drug cartel. And on March 7th, 2022, you will recall that he was arraigned alongside Sunday Ubia, Bawa, James Simon Agirigba, and John Nuhu, who are members of the police intelligence response Response Team. And then others are Chibun Patrick and Emeka Alphonsus, and then 2 other suspected drug traffickers who were arrested at Akanu Ibiam International Airport in Enugu. And then upon the arraignment of Kyari and then the 4 others, upon his arraignment, others pleaded guilty and they were since convicted. But however, Kyari alongside others pleaded not guilty, and that was why they were actually still held and all the applications rejected. And not until yesterday when the presiding judge, James Omotoshon, said that their offense was actually bailable. But what is more important is that Nigerians have continued to clamor for justice, and all this delay and dragging of investigation is something that we should outgrow. We don't want a system that will give room for manipulation, that will give room for some forms of nepotic practice. Because you belong to me, you were there for me. No, if you do this, it's going to expose this, it's going to expose that. Recall when Hush Puppy's link with the DSP was made known. He said no, he has never known him. The only thing that joined them was, is it an attire he saw that he admired and all of that. And people were questioning, having known the your integrity, why you affiliate with somebody like that? So the issue of drug is not one that Nigerians should just keep at the shallow mind. It's something that should really be investigated. And it's over a year right now since this case. I was listening to the judge saying that even after the Kuje prison break, that a lot of people escaped. The DSP did not escape. He was actually there, and part of the reasons that were given and all of that. But what we are saying, that the right thing needs to be done, because at some point, one of the reasons for the application of the bail was because of threat to his life and his other teammates, whom have together fought crimes and led to the arrest of some criminals whom they are now in cell together. And he said, oh, they are actually threatening him and they need to go out there. But well, his release is now subject, even after meeting all of this demand, is subject to the other case that has been filed against him. So, well, like we always say and we always maintain, let the right thing be done.
Well, the National Population Commission is asking the federal government addition of 225 billion for 2023 census.
Well, the delegation from the National Population Commission, NPC, yesterday visited the president, and you know the Digital Housing and Population Census that was initiated by President Muhammadu Buhari was actually suspended at the last minute. A lot of Nigerians were looking forward to that census, because the last it was conducted was like 17 years ago. That's since 2006. And then a lot of Nigerians were actually looking forward to the next one. But of course, at the last minute, it was actually suspended. And this, according to the commission, is to allow the new administration to actually own the whole process and drive the entire process to its logical conclusion. And they actually made the submission when they visited the president, and then telling him the fact that, oh, they actually want to run this. This is a foundational census, looking at the fact that the last that it was conducted was 17 years ago. And they are saying we will require additional 225.2 billion naira to conduct the national census. You will recall that they actually asked for the 31 billion naira that was allocated in the budget. And they said that is not enough. They have actually used part of the money they had for trainings of officers, but these 225.2 billion naira again is going to be used for trainings and then allowances of people that are going to be working on the field. And then the NPC chairman, talking about Nasir Isa Kwara, was the one that made the request while briefing the president about the activities of the commission at the presidential villa in Abuja, also trying to tell the president of their preparedness. So in line with that, he sought the approval of the president for the 22.5 225.2 billion to cover the training and field allowances. And then in response to that, the special advisor to the president on special duties, communication and strategy, talking about Dele Alake, actually explained that President Tinubu, while receiving the MPC team, noted that the population in the urban center across the country is increasing, and this is because of extreme poverty and then unemployment at the rural area, and why a lot of people are actually relocating to the urban center. He also pledged, the president pledged his unwavering support for the commission, and he tasked them to be accurate in terms of data collection. Those data need to be credible and reliable, looking at the fact that it's going to be important in terms of our national and economic development programs. These are data that are going to be relied on. It's quite unfortunate that we have to allow this to linger this long. Like a country like Nigeria don't have reliable data as at this time. It's just quite unfortunate. But we hope, like the MPC chairman said, the president is going to go through the document he submitted and give a new date towards the end of the year or next year. But what we are concerned about is whatever data that is going to come out from this National Population Commission, this census, should be accurate, should be reliable, should be dependable. We don't want a data that is going to be influenced by some political gladiators, because people look forward to this for some political reasons. Beyond that, what we are looking at is the economic development of this country. Let's have data that when it comes to national disaster, when it comes to economic development programs, we'll be able to say, oh, these are the informations that are actually reliable, that are credible, that we can actually work with. So it is important, just like the president assured them of his support. We hope that at the end of the day, we're going to see that, not a case where money is going to be allocated. At the end of the day, we hear, oh, it has been suspended because of this, and that reason should be genuine enough. Last minute cancellation, given reason that, oh, we want this administration, because when you look at the time that it was supposed to be conducted, April, it was barely a month to the end of the last administration, and the whole process might not be able to be concluded before the new administration. So according to the MPC chairman, the essence of, or the reason why they had to suspend it, is so that this administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu can own it and then see to the conclusion of the whole process. And the president actually urged the MPC to view the delay as an opportunity to cash in on the advantages of the current electronic and digital age. We don't have any excuse to say, oh, because we don't have what it takes and all of that. We're already in the digital age, and everybody is already taking advantage of it. So this digital housing and population census needs to be accurate. And he also said it is disappointing that up until now we have not been able to conduct this such census. So we hope that this commission are going to deliver to Nigerians what is actually expected. We hope that they are going to work with integrity. We hope that this census is not, at the end of the day, will not be influenced by some political gladiator or some people that want to take advantage of the data for their personal or selfish interests. At the end of it, or let the general interest of Nigeria stand out.
I was impressed, hearing him emphasizing, the issue of integrity. And I think this is one of the things that, Nigerians, specialists, that aspect, I've been talking, because after being allocated such amount that they asked initially, and then what they say they spent, before the cancellation, people were wondering, like, you said you spent this so amount to prepare for this, and we cannot see anything like these people are really ready for this census. And at the end of the day, we saw the cancellation, and some people were like, we have said it, we know that this thing is not going to be a reality. We have to honor. We have to honor. And I think yesterday I saw the body language of Mr. President, talking about the issue of integrity, emphasizing on that. And I think it is something that the commission should look into. And then let's see how we'll begin to strengthen our system, that all of this parastatals departments and all the NDAs will work based on the reason why they are being formed. You know, you remember when the issue of the census came, some people were feeling this is the time now they will manipulate, and then people will know that their language is the most widely spoken and they are the most populated, and the rest, simply because of the issue of politics. When it comes, people pick it, like you rightly said, and then go out there and they make their own manipulation and get their way and get things that they ordinarily they are not supposed to get. You understand? So I believe Nigerians are awakened now. Nigerians are following all of this, and I can see more of awareness, you know, then before the cancellation. You know, when people are enlightening people, this is how to go about it, this is what you're supposed to know about it. We want to see more even before the new date will be announced by Mr. President. And then if being given additional money, we should see that money translating to something that Nigerians can hold and say, yes, after these years, I think this one worth it because we wait this long to get it right. And talking about Alake, you know, yesterday I listened to him talking about the list that is going out there in the social media, people talking about ministerial list, that this is what they are thinking Tinubu is going to work with.
You know, Nigerians are actually keen when it comes to body language. And most times, you know, we live in a country where before informations are being passed, it's more like the information are actually tested.
Yes.
So it comes as rumors. Then before you know, you see it in reality. And no wonder Nigerians like the list being floated around. And looking also at the body language of some few individuals that have been visiting the president lately. Some people have been asking questions. Oh, if these people have already gone for this position, it means that this person might be considered for a ministerial seat, since he was not part of the special advisor, or he's not part of the key officials around the president. So it means among the ministers, he might have some slots. So a lot of informations are already going out there. Some lists are being flaunted around, saying that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed or has selected this, or these are the people that are going to make the ministerial seats and all of that. But just yesterday, the special advisor to the president on communication strategy, special duties, talking about Dele Alake, responded to that. And in responding, I listened to him how he was responding to the person that asked the question, are you among the people that are vying, or you are also eyeing that position and all of that. But in everything, he actually made a point clear that Nigerians should ignore the rumors of Tinubu's ministerial list. He said it is actually not ready. But of course, in line with law, in line with the constitution, it is expected that before July 29th, the president would have to submit the list for approval. So he said when the president is good and is ready, that the Nigerians are going to know about it. So he said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidential ministerial list is not ready. And that was what the spokesperson said. He said the president, like the president's spokesperson, Dele Alake, said that yesterday while addressing the press, saying that Nigerians should just be calm. There is no iota of truth in all those things that are being perpetrated on the social media about the ministerial seat. So when the president is good, when the president is ready, he is going to submit it. You'll recall that the president was sworn in as president of Nigeria on May 29th, and he has to submit this list before July 29th as mandated by the law, because he has a window period, and then that by July 29th, that will be the end of it. So I'm sure that the president is already working on that, and we hope that those people that at the end of the day are going to be making it to the list and at the end of the day will be approved will be people that are competent to occupy the various ministerial seats. I do hope that the president and members of the Senate are going to look beyond personal interests, are going to look beyond nepotic reason, because this person did this for me during campaign. Oh, I got this vote from here. This person is a loyalist. I need to pay him back by giving him. No wonder we keep going back and forth in terms of development in different sectors of our economy. Because if we have the right people occupying the right space, then at the end of the day, we won't be having, talking about dwindling economy. Think about it when the Minister of Education is being given to somebody that has no idea about education or the rudiments of education. He would rather bring it down instead of making it grow. But when you give it to somebody that knows education, knows the value of education, and is an educationist who knows the importance to national development, then is going to hold such position with keen interest, and is going to do the needful. So I hope at the end of the day, competence will override personal interest, will override greed, will override some nepotic reason. At the end of the day, we are going to see ministers that will emerge and work for the national interest of the country, not ministers that will end up being yes sir, yes sir kind of ministers that will only work for their selfish interests, or that will just work just to please some master somewhere that, like they say, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. National interest should be the watchword.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I hope that Mr. President is listening, because if you really want to take Nigeria to an admirable height, take it to a global a point whereby the global world will look at us as, yes, we are serious, we want to get it right. You have to bring people that think alike. You have to bring people that have the interests of the country at heart, just like what you said, not people that will just come and then they are loyal to even some people, because that's when you start hearing that, Joyce, I nominated you, so you have to be loyal to me, not to even the principal officer. So these are some of the things, and I know he's not ignorant of all of this, because he has been in the game, he knows the game very well, and by his body language, his antecedents so far, we can really say he understands the game, and we pray that God will help him, and as he brings out the list, which we are hoping that is going to be is not going to be the usual. You remember the last regime, there was a time that we waited for 6 months, not for us to see some kind names that you can just wake up and just pick your biro and write them, not even thinking twice about them. But it took that regime almost 6 months, for them to bring that list, and Nigerians were disappointed, and we don't want to see that, because already we are seeing the level of which Mr. President is going. So his action now should not thwart whatever he has started. Thank you, Joyce, for doing this.
Always a pleasure.
This is Nigeria Now, the much we can take. Thank you for staying with us. Remain blessed.